Hey, what's up everyone? Phil Ebener here from videoschoolonline.com, and today I'm super excited to show some new gear that I've invested in at the beginning of 2019. One of the goals that I have for this year is to improve my own photography, and one style of photography that I haven't really tried out and I'm really interested in is wildlife photography. And as you know, if you've been following this channel or if you are a part of the photography masterclass, and the group, we do lots of live Q&As, live streams with that class competitions. So go ahead and click the link below to enroll in that class and to join our Facebook group. But a lot of you know that last year I converted to Fuji from Canon, and I've been really enjoying this camera. This is the Fujifilm X-T2. I did not upgrade to the Fujifilm X-T3 when it came out yet. It's something I'm considering, but at this point, it's just not a leap that I'm willing to make. Potentially though, for wildlife photography, it might be something with its better autofocus. But I purchased this camera mostly because I wanted to be taking photos of my newborn twins. And they were born in August, and that was before the X-T3 came out. And it was worth it for me to purchase this X-T2, which was a great deal at the time. And I've loved it. I've loved everything about this camera. I've purchased the 16mm 1.4 lens and then also the 56mm prime lens as well. These are great portrait style lenses. The 16mm, I've been surprised about this lens. It has actually been the lens that I use the most. A lot of people swear by the 56mm lens for portraits. Some people say this is the best Fuji lens out there, but I've actually used the 16mm a lot more, and I think one of the reasons is that I can get close up to my kids, to my babies, and this 56mm, I don't know what the close focus distance is off the top of my head, but you do have to stand back quite a ways. So I could literally be holding my baby right here, taking a photo just like this because the close focus range is so near. And this lens is wide enough to capture those details and just kind of those ordinary everyday things. Also though, getting up really close, getting some creative shots. I'm noticing there's some gunk here as I'm talking. That is baby food. So that's what happens when you have babies and you're taking photos of them all the time. So these two lenses and this camera has been a great kit for me so far. I've loved a lot about it. And as much as I say in the photography masterclass and when I teach photography to beginners that gear doesn't matter, part of me feels like that's only a half truth. Because while I believe you can take a great photo with any camera, whether it's the higher end mirrorless or DSLR cameras or your smartphone, there are some instances where the type of shot you're trying to get just is not possible with the gear you might have. For example, that's why I invested in some new equipment this year to get into wildlife photography. So one of the lenses I'm most excited about is the Fuji 100-400 lens. Now, I'm not doing a whole unboxing thing because there's a billion videos out there where people are literally just opening boxes and showing you this lens. I don't need to do that. And this is not a review. This is not any sort of thing really comparing this lens to anything. It's not about the specs. It's just talking about what I invested in, why I invested, and why I'm so excited. And if you want to follow along, then that's great. You can also follow along with my Instagram channel or my Instagram page, which I'm going to be doing a lot more posting this year with my own photography, not just baby pictures, but photos that I actually take creatively. And so that's part of the reason why I'm doing this too, just to let people know that I am going to be doing that if you want to follow along. So links to Instagram are going to be in the description below as well. So this thing's a beast, super excited to use it. Along with it, I got the 1.4 times teleconverter, so makes this an even longer focal distance. So hopefully I can get those nice close-up wildlife shots that I've been looking at all my life in National Geographic. Now I know with the Fuji, it's not the best. There's not a lot of people using the Fuji X-T2 or Fuji cameras for wildlife photography. And part of me thinks that's a great challenge. I'm super excited to be using this camera and this setup for wildlife photography. When I was searching for like the best wildlife cameras out there and just seeing what other professional wildlife photographers were using, I mean, really, to be honest, not many people were using Fuji cameras. That being said, so all these cameras are so great at what they do now. And like I said, if you have the right equipment, you can get really any type of shot. So super excited to use this lens. It is a beast compared to using something like this all the time. Adding this to this is going to be quite big, but I'm really excited to start using it, and along with the 1.4 teleconverter. So that's two things that I invested in this year. Another thing that I was really interested in doing was macro photography, and this is more sort of just a practical thing. I was thinking, well, if I'm going out in nature all the time trying to get some wildlife photos, I'm not going to be able to use this lens all of the time. So why not get a macro lens that allows me to get some really cool nature shots? And so that's why I invested in the 80mm macro lens. And this thing I started using. So if you go to my Instagram page, you'll see a couple photos that I've already just practiced just around the neighborhood right now, shooting, and I'm loving it. Not only for macro, but it's another step up from my 16, 56, and 80. I feel like this is a nice trinity of lenses for myself. It's a nice set that can get me all sorts of focal ranges, focal lengths, and, well, 3 focal lengths, but a nice range. And then adding this on top, it's just that next extension. So super excited to have this lens in my kit as well. So that's going to be really exciting. Another thing that I bought was an ND filter set. So this is a 10 stop ND filter for my 16mm lens. So I was debating whether to get a filter set that was either screw on or just a slide on filter where I could use it on any lens. But I realized that I'm going to be using ND filters mostly with my 16mm lens right now. And so I ended up getting this one. It's from B&W. It was not too expensive. I have the price up here. Let me see what it was. Got all this stuff from B&H Photo if you guys were interested. So this was $70 for this filter. So it's not the cheapest, you know, it's not plastic. It should be nice quality, but it's also not the most expensive one. If you're in the photography masterclass, you probably have seen the lessons, or maybe you haven't. We have a section on long exposure photography, and Will, who also uses the Fujifilm system, he has the Lee Filter Big Stopper, and that's a slide-in sort of screw-on kind of thing, but that's a really cool filter as well. So those 3 things, or well, 4, the 2 lenses, the teleconverter, and then the filter, I think will allow me to get a lot of different types of photos compared to what I was able to with just the 2 previous lenses that I had. Got a couple more batteries because my Fuji batteries were always running out. And before I had bought I had bought a couple of like the off-brand batteries, just because these are kind of expensive, $70 or so. But when you're buying 2 lenses, a converter, and some other gear, you know, $70 for a battery doesn't seem as expensive, as bad as that sounds. So those are a few cool things. A couple more things. New tripod from Manfrotto. So this is one of the top reviewed photo tripods, carbon fiber, super light. Let me get the specific name. It's the Be Free Compact Travel Tripod by Manfrotto. Again, if you look up camera tripods or photo tripods on B&H, this is probably one of the top ones that shows up. Super excited to use this because I've been using a janky plastic tripod, except for my big professional video tripods. I've been using a janky plastic tripod for the past 10 years for my photography. So excited to have this and be more flexible. And then got all this new gear, so I need to put it somewhere. So got a new backpack. So this is the Lowepro ProTactic BP450 backpack. It's the second version, so it's updated. It's got new like weather protection and stuff. I haven't filled it up yet, so potentially after I fit all this stuff in this backpack, maybe I'll do a video that shows everything that I put in this backpack, and I'll kind of do a review of what I think about the backpack. This one, again, highly reviewed, Peter McKinnon, one of the photographers I follow, he recommended it this year. So I went ahead and splurged on a new backpack as well. It's actually not as, it's big, but it's not as big as I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like a freaking like backpacking backpack, but it's a pretty good size, and I like that it's a little bit more secure than my previous. I have a Low Pro backpack, but it's an older one, and it's not as secure because that one you can access it from the back. Now you can only access from the sides or from really the back. So a little bit more secure when walking around with such expensive gear. Cool. So just a little flavor of what I'm going to be getting into this year in 2019. So I want you to hold me accountable to practicing my own photography. So make sure you head over to Instagram, follow me. It's just Phil Ebener. I'm going to include a link below and you can see the photos that I'm taking. I'd love to follow you back. So hit me up, send me a message, and post a comment down below. And if you're interested in learning about photography, if you're confused about what all this gear is and you're just getting into photography, we have the Photography Masterclass. It's the best-selling photography course on Udemy and on many other online platforms. We'll leave a link below. It's great. It's got over 20 hours of content. It takes you from beginner to advanced. And one of the best parts about it is the fact that there is a Facebook group with that. So you get access to thousands of other photographers who can critique your photos, give you inspiration. We do competitions, live streams, weekly photo adventures, monthly photo editing challenges, so much more. So I'll leave a link below for that as well. Awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and I hope you have a great year. And let me know in the comments below, what are your goals for 2019? What are you doing to live a more creative life? I hope I can help. Bye.